James Tennyson from Northern Ireland on the left and Jovanni Straffon, Mexico City on the right. Well, I would say, looking at that there, you would think that Tennyson had a couple of inches in height, but seeing them on the scales and seeing them meeting head-to-head at the press conference, Straffon looks to be slightly taller and slightly rangier of the two. Sometimes those statistics can be a little bit skewed, but I don't think it's going to be the defining characteristic of this fight. Two explosive punches, much at stake for Straffon and for Tennyson.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the vacant IBO Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, standing with his head trainer, Isaac Cruz Garcia. He wears the white trunks with the black and gold trim. This southpaw scaled at already 9 stone, 7 pounds, 2 ounces. His professional record, 23 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, and 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the 2-time Mexican national champion, presentando de Isla Veracruz, Mexico, Jovanni Impacto Straffon. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands with his head trainer, Tony Dunlop. He wears the yellow with blue and red trim. He scaled 9 stone, 8 pounds, 7 ounces. His professional record, 28 victories, 3 defeats. He has 24 big wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former British, Commonwealth, European, and WBA international champion, and the former world title challenger, fighting out of Belfast, Northern Ireland, James the Assassin Tennyson.
Well, Jovanni Straffon says he will walk through fire to beat James Tennyson tonight. The opportunity of a lifetime for the Mexican. 12 3-minute rounds for the IBO World Lightweight Championship. Your commentary team for this one, Paul Smith Jr. and the next voice you'll hear, Nick Calling.
Thanks very much, Chris. An early body shot coming in from Tennyson, and that is the big question here. Jovanni Straffon, can he take the power of James Tennyson? We know what Tennyson brings. He's had 31 fights, 27 of them have ended inside. He's been on the wrong end of that 3 times. But if this Mexican, who no one has heard of before this fight, can take the power of Tennyson, he's got a swarming, aggressive style that could make life very, very uncomfortable for the Belfast man, who's going to have to be smart and intelligent and possibly as well very patient tonight, Paul, if he wants to get the win.
There's absolutely no patience here, Nick. It's no feeling out process. This is a shootout straight away. Both fighters have been caught as there, and both fighters have felt it.
He's been rocked twice by a left hook there, Tennyson. He's got to be smarter than this. I mean, you're right. It's gunslinger time for these two right at the get-go.
Both fighters have felt the power of each other, and both fighters are both going forward and letting the hell for leather shots go. There's absolutely no feeling out process. Both fighters have felt the power of being buzzed.
Yeah, you can hear Tony Dunlop saying, pace yourself, pace yourself. He's gone off red hot here. He's been used to just blasting his way through opponents, and this is what I said to you, Paul. If Straffon can take this man's punches, this fight gets very, very interesting indeed, because he's got a bit of spite himself.
Yep, and I think this is ideal for Straffon to come out the way he's come out. He knows that the better chance that he has is when they're head-to-head, when they're banging away with each other. He's got a bit of power himself, his record says that, but Tennyson ultimately, as we know, is a massive puncher at this weight.
Well, both of them have had 3 career defeats, and he's gone. I was just about to say, his defeats have all come by stoppage, and is this another one here?
It's over.
He's absolutely gone.
Wow.
Well, he's up at 8. Michael Alexander's going to give him a chance. Oh, my goodness. I'm not sure this is a wise move. Straffon moves in for what would be the biggest win of his career, and it's over. It's done in a round. The upset has been confirmed again. Just like his compatriot a few weeks ago, Maurizio Lara shocked everybody, beating Josh Warrington. Jovanni Straffon, the 9-1 underdog, has blown James Tennyson away.
Wow.
Listen, Paul, Nick, I was messaged by a very, very good Canadian scout called Ryan Scalia, who those of you in the industry will know. He has called many an upset against the odds, and he messaged me yesterday and said, listen, I can tell you now, I fully expect Jovanni Straffon to come in and knock James Tennyson out. He said, this is a kid that wants it, and you can see there, more than anything in his life, boxing has saved him. It took him in off the streets. He quite literally lives at the gym, and this was the moment of a lifetime for him. We've seen the complacency with Josh Warrington against Maurizio Lara a few weeks ago. We saw Tennyson start a little bit flat and just assume he could sit down on his shots, get him out of there, and look at what's happened to him. First round, caught shots he didn't need to, never recovered, and it's over.
For me, he never recovered off the initial knockdown, and for me, the referee needed to sort of use a few little, little time-wasting tactics, pushing Straffon back to his corner or something, just to give Tennyson another second, because if he'd have waved that fight off there and then, I wouldn't have had any complaints whatsoever after the first knockdown. He took a few too many shots after the knockdown, but a well-deserved win for Straffon, a well-deserved performance, and he's absolutely snatched his opportunity with both hands, Nick.
For me, James Tennyson didn't recover from that double left hook before the first knockdown. I mean, he really did catch him early, and I was just about to say when he fell down that you look at Tennyson, his defeats have all come inside. This guy has been beaten, yes, but he's always gone the distance. So even though we don't know much about the opponents, we know he's tough, we know he's got some power. I hate to be overcritical of James Tennyson here, particularly on a night when he's just sat on his stool absolutely devastated. He did not box smart tonight. He should have come out and had a really good long look at this fella. As you said, he decided, oh, I've blown away everybody that I've faced the last 6 times. He needed to show this guy a bit more respect tonight.
Well, it was crazy. I mean, Tennyson walked straight to the centre of the ring. His heels went flat against the canvas and he started unloading. I mean, it's kind of career suicide when you do something like that. You know that that's how the Mexicans fight. Ben Davison calls it the puncher's ignorance, and I think really we saw it on full display there. There was no respect at all for this kid, his record and anything about him. And yeah, of course, listen, we don't know as much about the Mexican opponents. We don't know as much about the circumstances under which he boxed in a lot of those contests. It's very easy to sometimes look at these grainy YouTube videos and or rather underestimate somebody, but we should have learned by now, given the history of Mexican fighters that have come over here, even at short notice, and upset the odds. But unfortunately for James Tennyson, he didn't learn his lesson tonight. And, well, that is going to be a very, very difficult defeat to come back from.
And I feel so sorry for him, because he is such a good guy. Everybody admires and respects him for what he does out of the ring as much as what he's done inside it as well. But I think, either he was guilty of believing his own hype or his team were. Because, as you said, Paul, and you too, Chris, if there's one thing you know about Mexicans, that's the one word you know, Mexican. Immediately treat them with respect, because they can bang, they'll go toe-to-toe with you, they'll get into a war, and they won't be intimidated. And if Tennyson thought he could just get this fella out of there with his power, he immediately realised, no, not going to happen. And he's blown it tonight, and I feel so sorry for him.
There's been many Mexicans that have come over here, and they may not be the biggest punches, but they're tough as old boots, and you're going to get guaranteed toughness every single time you fight one of them. But after 10 seconds, we could see from here that Straffon could punch. Tennyson will have felt his power, should have known about the power, and just step back, have a little look, get your jab out, have a little look. Don't take nothing silly early on, because this guy can punch, and the proof was in the pudding. There we go with the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Michael Alexander calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 2 minutes and 10 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by RSC and the new IBO lightweight champion of the world, de Isla Veracruz, Mexico, Jovanni Impacto Straffon.